Seems like it goes faster every time.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's
Hello.
just drop away now. Hello, mate. You all right?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, we'll be. We get some people in. Ain't got nobody in at the minute.
I haven't shared it yet. Just
No,
chill
Oh,
out.
you know,
Chill out.
they should come along, shouldn't? Ah, we've got one person there.
Probably
Probably
Rita.
Rita. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, we've got two people there. There you go. Has Rita got two computers? But no, well, one again.
Yeah.
Back down to one. They saw us. Thought, yeah, no, not for me, thanks. And who complained them?
Well, I've been going down
So
some
this-
rabbit holes.
What we'd like to do, if you could please, the person who is there, if they could just, don't worry if it's you, Rita, whoever's there, if you could just put in the chat that you can hear us loud and clear so we're broadcasting properly, and we know that would be wonderful, please.
Sometimes smell us.
So, oh, look, they buggered off.
Well, okay, yeah, they did.
Might be Vivian.
What's that? They saw my ugly mug and
Saw us all, mate. They saw us all for one motley looking crew.
she looks like
we'll
that
get
guy over the fence. You know that.
Oh, was that we used to call that? What we used to call that? Was it Chad or something we used to call
I don't know what it is. But I
We just like, yeah, what no biscuits, and it was like that when it over the fence.
yeah. What one
No,
person
I remember that. I remember that from the 70s when I was a kid. I remember somebody sprayed it on somebody's fence. They were best not happy about it, and it wasn't me. So I was just a bit of a kid at the time.
So what was it then, Dan?
Oh,
'Cause
Rita,
I'm-
boo boo! Hiya, Rita. Thank you.
Daniel,
We've got two in there. Who's the second? Sorry, Mark Parker. What did you say?
so what's all this thing about the fence? Because I wasn't born in the 70s, so just have to relate.
It was just a thing that it I mean, I first saw it in the 70s. I'm assuming it had come back in the 70s, maybe 60s. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it was just people used to spray things on walls. And it was like that, and it was just a face.
Oh,
looking out,
okay.
and maybe a long nose coming down. So it looked like somebody looking
Humpty
over a wall.
It was like Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah.
No, this one wasn't. This one was just like a face looking over the edge.
Right, okay.
But yeah, it was just a thing people used to do. Remember, there wasn't a lot of entertainment in them days. It was only free channels.
No, not unless you wanted to play out. Not unless you want to play out in the streets during the 70s.
That's
So
true.
you had
There was only 3 channels providing you had a license.
home improvement.
Because in those days, everybody believed that those TV detector vans actually worked. Home Improvement. Oh, that was with Tim
Allen.
I love Tim Allen. Tim Allen, very funny man. I love that. And The Neighbour. Yeah, that was it. The Neighbour. That was it, Rita. The Neighbour next door. Yeah, you saw the hat, didn't you? And the eyes. That was it. Yeah, I love that. It was brilliant.
I missed the 80s is what I really missed, though.
Oh, yeah. I remember the 80s. Yeah, I used to go around thinking, I look smart in the 80s. I used to wear these. I used to wear them. And I look back at these people now in the 80s and think, God, you look like awful.
I know, right?
The clothing was awful. Especially the New Romantics. It was awful. Awful.
I was born 84.
Were you?
Wow.
84. Bloody hell.
So that means I'm 40 this year.
When I was born in 88.
Yeah, all right.
18.
You're older than me, Dan, I think, aren't you?
I am. I think I am. I think I'm the oldest here, aren't I?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Hey, Carl.
Hiya, Carl. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope life is treating you well stateside, mate. You and
Yes.
you and
Well,
Sam.
we are well, Joe.
Well, gel.
Well, Joe. He got away.
So I'll translate. It means
He did keep it quiet, didn't he? Because he knew that we wouldn't let him go if we'd have got wind of it.
Well,
Nettie.
Hiya, Nettie. Hope you're doing well.
Rita's born in
No.
Ann.
Oh, Rita's the oldest here then.
Yeah, she's older than me by 6 years.
It's amazing, isn't it? When you go down and put the date of your birthday and you go back, I'll go through the 2000s, through like 20 years, then 2000s, then 90s, and 80s, and 70s, and you think, fucking that's long. How old am I? Seems an awful long time ago.
You know that, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but when kids used to get smallpox, they had the big scar.
Yes.
It's the last generation to get it.
Really?
Yep.
They used to have the mark on the arm, didn't they? Where they got.
Me too.
Yeah. Hiya, Tim. Hope you're doing well, buddy. So this evening we are going to be chatting about castles. Now, I don't know what we think we're talking about every aspect, whether they're haunted or people's favourite castles. And yeah, I love castles purely and simply because you're looking at over, in some instances, 1,500 years of history.
Yeah.
And even going back further than that, if you look at the land and not the castle, not the land the castle's built, or the land the castle's built and the castle itself. But yeah, it's an awful. Hi, Mary. Hope you're doing well.
You didn't see that. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
I know that you've been doing a lot of research on castles, Eric, haven't you? Because there's quite a few that
I've been
you've
writing
put
down
that you want to see. You've got like lists and reams of paper of different castles you want to visit when you're over here.
You want to know how much officially I have? I have.
Go on, show us. Is this all castles?
I can't show you because it's hard to show on TV, but I can tell you. Or, dang, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Probably about 10 pages.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 and a half pages of stuff I want to see.
And that's just stuff in general, isn't it?
Yeah. That's all haunted places, castles,
awful list.
Churches, you know.
Wow. Do you think you'll live long enough to see all that? Or the amount of stuff
Is he going to live long enough? Dad, you shouldn't be asking those kind of questions.
No, I mean the amount of stuff that he's got. Not these, he's going to be a young, healthy man. He's going to, God willing, he's got a long life. But it's the awful lot of stuff he's got in there, which is great, really, because it means you won't be bored. You will not be bored.
Well, I can never get bored when I get over there.
Oh, you haven't met Jay yet. So castles. So Eric, what have you got? One specific or a favourite castle, or one that you would like to visit more than any other?
My favorite happens to be in Scotland, and it's Ellen Dunn Castle. So
Fair enough.
Why is that
Fair
your
enough.
favourite?
Because I know it to be haunted, and what I saw was amazing on a live. So
What have they got, like a live camera feed into it, or
they don't. It was Haunted Scotland did a live feed from there, and he put one of those little cat balls that everybody likes so much in the hood of a monk, a statue, and I saw this energy just swoop in and set the ball off.
that's quite intriguing.
And
That's
just
quite
didn't go off,
interesting.
like most of them do when you watch them, the lives. There's actually like a mist or like a swoosh.
That's amazing. Yeah, it does, Carl, but Disney doesn't.
That doesn't count. Hi, Mr. Subby.
Hey, William.
Hello, Mr. Subby.
Well,
Hope you and your good lady wife are doing very
Hi,
well.
Beverly.
Good evening, Beverly. They're all coming in thick and fast. You must be shearing fast in the speed of light, Viv.
Can you describe the castle, its appearance, and what is it? Just paranormal that draws you to it, or is it its appearance, or?
Well, it's just paranormal that draws me to it to begin with, but apparently it's something that everybody goes and visits over there a lot. So I want to go see it, and it has a nice big long like stone road going up to it that goes around a moat.
That's pretty
I
cool.
think-
So what's the hauntings that are meant to have gone on there then, apart from the one with the monk that you saw? Is there anything else that you've heard of?
Voices, apparently, you get like voices, the normal stuff that people normally get, shadows, stuff like that.
Just general stuff.
Yeah.
Run-of-the-mill haunted castle, haunted property.
Yeah, right in the
Stuff that's going on there.
Chantel.
Hi, Chantel.
Hi, Chantel.
Hope everything's going fantastic for you.
So I'm going to let some light in here.
Yes. Could have done that earlier.
I thought that was the rheumatism. I thought that was Viv's rheumatism, which was just moving.
I had to get some
Hi,
light.
why you doing well, bud?
Green.
Good evening, young Sarah. So yes, so that's your top one castle, is it, Eric?
Well, no, I mean I got tons and tons of castles, and
But that's the one that you really want to see.
yeah, that's the one I really want to see, and then I want to go see the King's Castle. So
The light in this room is appalling, so I do apologise, guys. I can't get it right for love nor money.
Yeah, the one I've got here is awful.
It
Let
makes-
there be
makes
light,
sure you're
and there
thinking.
was Viv, said William.
Oh God, I just can't
So,
get
yeah.
it right tonight.
Right, Parker,
Yes, Daniel.
favourite castle and why?
I think it'll. Well, it's a fort. It's not a castle, which I can't. Well, it's in a fort in a castle. If that makes sense.
Go on then.
Tower London.
Yeah,
that's
that's
cool.
I like
That's
that.
cool.
It's
That's cool.
obviously
That's
apart from
cool.
in the city, but the history, like from when it was built,
Yeah,
it went through all the world wars.
Yeah.
World War II, when London got done by the Blitz, and it still stood. You know, and the history there, like with Henry VIII and the wives and that got beheaded there.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
a lot of history there.
That's a good call. Actually, it's a very good call because I agree with you on that. It is probably the most historical, I would imagine, of buildings, really, and certainly purported to be amongst the most haunted, isn't it? Because there's a whole variation, a plethora of paranormal stuff that goes on there. As Viv's gone and investigated at some point, and you've had your own evidence from there, Viv, haven't you?
I have. I was just going to put a picture up of the Tower of London so people can see what it looks like. But it's gone a bit awry.
It
Well,
used to be
I've got
a jewel in the. Go on, mate.
Go on,
sorry. No, go
I've
on.
got a second one, but is it classed as Castle Hampton Court?
Yeah.
No, more of a just
not
like a
really,
big
is it?
It was something. It was the bishop's houses at one
Do you
point.
know why it's not classed as a castle?
No moat?
It's because it hasn't got a moat and bailey.
Drawbridge,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
If it has a moat and bailey, then it's
classed as a castle.
it's officially a castle. But
Right,
without
okay.
that, it's not a castle. But
Right.
I don't like that. I think some buildings should have that castle.
Yeah.
Thing.
I suppose it's in defence. I know that I think it was built initially. It was built for the what do you call them? The clergy. It was built for the abbots and bishops of London. But like all of London, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. But it's like the thing with those two buildings in London, they used to be the crown and the jewel, but now they're crowns in a shithole because the rest of London's just sort of a dump now, isn't it?
It's not like I say, it's just a dump.
With the light of if you look like the Iconshaw.
Can you see that, guys?
No.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I have that written down too.
Do you know what? I do like Colchester Castle, but the unfortunate thing with that for me, Wayne, is they've gutted it, so it looks like a pretty modern building inside.
Castle, but they
Sorry, that was me.
Viv, stop mucking around. Stop it.
Oh dear, I don't know if I'm going to be able to share my screen. It's for some reason.
Don't worry, it's not the end of the world. I think everybody knows what it looks like, don't they? If they don't, they must have either come to the planet or they're hiding under a rock.
Hang on, it might work now. How about now?
No, that's not it. That's it.
Can you see that, guys?
Yeah, there you go. Tower of London.
See, now that looks like a castle to me.
To all intents and purposes, it is, really.
So there it is there.
Sarah, I've been looking all over Wales, and there's tons and tons of castles that I'm going to go see over there, too.
I've got one everlasting memory of the Tower of London. Back in the 70s, my mum, do you remember the kids used to get the school day? They still get the day trips out, don't they, now?
Yeah.
Not as exotic as they are today.
No.
And we had the day trip to the Tower of London. And I remember we all took our sandwiches, and my mum made me sandwiches, and I didn't want them. So I threw them over the thing into the moat.
Did you?
Yeah, I threw them over the top thing, over the wall into the moat.
I'm going
You
to try.
do indeed, William. You do indeed.
I probably wrote it down because I've been all over the place, writing down abbeys, castles, forts, old historic houses, bunkers.
And you, Viv, your favourite?
Okay, right. This castle is not in England.
Oh, it's in Romania.
It is in Romania. And I'm going to try and show you a picture of this castle. It's called Peles Castle. Hang on.
Is
Let
it-
me. There we go. Let me show you Peles Castle, a nicer picture of it so you can see it in all its glory. Peles Castle's in Romania. It's got nothing to do with
Dracula.
Dracula or
Vlad
Transylvania.
Tepes.
It's got nothing to do with that. And I'm going to share my screen with you now so you can see a picture of it. The reason I love this castle so much, I was lucky enough to see this castle last year.
Yeah.
And I actually went into the castle. All right, any second now. Tell me if you can see it.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see it.
Can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, got it.
So the castle is the one to the left.
Yeah.
The big picture on the left. Now, this is a castle that was built just to entertain guests by King Carol of Romania, who was married to a British woman called Elizabeth, believe it or not. And King Carol built this just to house and entertain passing dignitaries away from his main castle and home where he had in Romania. This castle, the architecture is not only stunning, the grounds and how they have been designed, absolutely beautiful. The statues are weird and wonderful. I remember taking a picture next to a statue of a dog. Why? I have no idea. But it was just odd, stood out, and I loved it. Inside the castle, I haven't got any photos to show you inside the castle. It is built like it's got the wood on that structure on the outside. Inside the castle, the walls have the wooden paneling, the carvings that go from the wall to the ceiling where you see the struts and the joints. He's actually got carved figurines of all sorts up there, as well as chandeliers and all the rest of it that you would imagine that a king would have in his castle. Absolutely beautiful and stunning. Now, I don't know how old it is. I doubt very much whether anyone would be able to get into that castle to investigate. It would be a pipe dream because it's still owned by the Romanian royal family or whoever's taken over that now.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to go and visit. It's right up in the mountains, out of the way of everyone. You wouldn't even know that that castle was there unless you happened to stumble upon it.
Wow.
But one of the stories that always stuck with me is when you go and visit this castle, you don't walk in the main entrance. The main entrance has been bolted shut.
Oh, wow.
And there is a reason this main entrance is bolted shut, because for many years, the bears would come down out of the mountains and get through the front doors. They would just, the weight of them is amazing. And they would find that they would have these big bears roaming about inside the castle. So to stop the bears from getting into the castle, they bolted this shut and they use a side door now as a main entrance. And for some reason, the bears don't bother with that one. So it works. But I know that, Dan, you may or may not have seen this castle when you was out there in Romania.
No, not that one. I was too busy stuck in the mountains.
And it also looks like a fairy tale castle, you know, like something from Disney. But it's the real deal. It's not made up. It's actually built by a for their royal dignitaries. And I love it. I would give my right arm to go and investigate in this castle, let alone that, just spend a night in there in one of the rooms.
Lovely.
It's just amazing. And not only that, the things that it houses, and it's not got anything somber or nasty like you'd find in some of these other castles. It just has normal everyday things that a king or a queen or whoever would need to go and stay there. Okay, they're the finer things in life, like the statues are made of marble and all the carvings are, you pay a lot of money for, but it's just normal everyday artifacts. So I don't think this castle has a dungeon, William. Not that I
More like
saw. It
more
would
like
have a
Built for
cellar.
Pleasure.
Yeah. No, I think it's got a cellar, attached to kitchens and things like that. But
Fine
that
wines.
one, that one doesn't have that one does not have a dungeon, I'm afraid.
That looks like it's built for entertaining.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you like the finer things in life, like moi, this is your place to go. I just have to slum it when I'm out with Dan and Jay.
Everybody slums it when they're out with me. I'm the
What
king
about
of
you?
slummers.
What about you, Dan? What's your favourite castle?
I fucking hate them.
I don't know.
Shitholes. Pull them down, stick tower blocks up. That's what I say.
No.
No, of course not. I absolutely love and adore old buildings and castles. And I think, to be honest with you, there's a castle I'm not too sure of. And people are going to... I've only been there a couple of times, but I've never felt right there. And there's one that I particularly like. Now, the one I particularly like, there's not a lot left of it, sadly. And that is Castle Acre.
Oh, yes.
I like it there. There's not a lot left of it, but I do like it there. There's something quite...
Shall I get a picture of Castle Acre up?
Yeah,
people?
there's something quite nice there.
I haven't done
It feels that. I know that one of your team had a really bad... Well, not a bad experience, but it was bad for them, wasn't it?
It was.
Do you want to tell people what happened to them, Viv?
Hang on, let me get this up. You talk about Castle Acre. I'll tell you in a sec.
Is it
Well, Castle
Acre?
Acre is like all castles, most castles over here, they date back to the Norman conquest. They date back to that period of when they call it the Dark Ages. Now, it really wasn't the Dark Ages. They're probably more enlightened than we are today. But it dates back 1,000 years or so, because obviously that's when the Normans came over here, conquered it, took over the lands, and then divided it up amongst themselves. So you're looking at the French, basically, the French gentry, the French aristocracy. And the thing about Castle Acre is the last time that myself and Viv were there, we actually got communication with a guy that was speaking in French. Now, this is the middle of England, remember? This is right in Norfolk. And he was speaking fluent French, and I couldn't really understand it. Little bits, but not a lot. And we tried to converse with him, and we seemed to be having a good time. But I don't think his wife liked me talking to him, did she? Because she came along, and she was having a go at him, and then you could hear the pair of them having an argument over the back. So we think that that's what the situation was. We think that she pulled him away.
Did he run away?
He did it. He had the ump, and I remember saying to you, Viv, it's amazing, isn't it? You think it's meant to be for like till death we depart, but no, they bastards follow you into the afterlife. Don't they? You can't shake your wife or husband off.
No.
So it's a nightmare, really. But no, joking. But no, it's
Can't get a good picture up of it, Dan.
no, that's all right. It's not.
Oh, hang on.
Is it?
I found one.
Oh, cool.
But it's asking you to pay for it. But
Oh,
ignore
really?
the,
Don't worry.
right. Ignore the fact that it's asking you to pay for it. I'll see if I can get it up and show you.
But it's kind of rolling. It's sort of rolling hills and that, where all obviously the battlements and everything else. A lot of it's basically been covered over, and there are some deep slips into it. I think you went there once, Viv, and the middle of the night when you go something, there was snow and there was people tobogganing, and they're young lads who were pissed and
skiing,
tobogganing.
yeah. Oh, it was funny. It was funny.
I love that, the Carry On one. Do you know the one I love, William? There was one about Hampton, the one about Carry On Henry or whatever it was. The one where they turned around and said, if you go to use the toilet, I think it was, who was it? It was Kenneth Williams said, if you're going to use the toilet, be careful you don't get your Hampton caught.
Okay.
That's it.
That's only one small part of it.
It is. It's over. Well, I'm guessing an acre, no more than that even. And it's very, very big. But yeah, that's part of it. And that's the place that I really like. That I really enjoy going there. It's got a good feel to it.
So
but
see
can
this?
you tell the experience
Yes.
that your investigator had there?
Yes. See this? I don't know if you can see this square at the front there.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
that
right,
square. That square is a well,
Okay.
and it goes down very, very deep. There is some stories about this well, which I'll tell you in a minute. But to the left of that picture that you can't quite see, there are some stairs, and it takes you up and over and round the back. This picture actually doesn't do it justice. We were sort of away investigating other parts. Now, my investigator, Scott, was sat by this well. He wanted to sit there, take photographs of his all sparkly new SLR camera and really, see what it could do in the dark. We didn't want him to be left on his own, but he was adamant. He wasn't moving. He wasn't doing anything. So in the end, we left it. All right, at your own detriment, be it. But we're off. You come with us, or you face the consequences. And I really regret saying those words to him, because it's always two investigators at any given time in case something happens.
Yeah.
And something did happen. So while he was sitting there is and I don't think I can get the picture up, which is a shame, but there is a moat and a bridge that's been made modern day wood, so you can get to this area. And there is some like flint arches. And then you have a small little passageway where you can turn left and go up the stairs, which we had climbed previously and gone up and around and disappeared. So he had sat there and noticed he started feeling a bit strange, and he doesn't know what made him look up from that well. But when he looked up, he described a gentleman that he could see through that had like a skirt on, that had some kind of a helmet on his head. He did draw it all for me. He was holding a sword in his hand and a shield. And he said he walked up this wooden thing. He stood just in front of the arch. He'd passed through the arch and just in front of him. And he said he could see this man had barely, 12 foot away from him, not that far,
Right
not
next
that far.
next to him, yeah.
Yeah, and he said that he turned and stared directly, eye to eye, at Scott, and then pointed to the bridge. And Scott's, I said, "What did you do?" And he said, "Well, I did nothing." He said, "I froze because I couldn't believe what I was seeing, because I could see right through him." He said, "I could describe to you what he was wearing," and he did try and draw it for me, bless him. But he said then he turned, but it's the way he swung himself around. He said he didn't just turn, but he swung round and then started walking up the stairs to where we had gone, and then disappeared. At that point, 5-10 minutes later, we came down back to where he was at that well, and he couldn't talk. He'd gone very pale. He was shaking. When we were talking to him, it was as though we weren't there. At that point, one of my other investigators, who's military first aid, looked at me. I looked at her, and I said, "He's in a state of shock." She said, "I wasn't going to say anything," but she said, "I'm going to march him off the property and give him a drilling." I went, "Okay." So what she did was she got him to stand up. She marched him off the property back to the car park, shouting in his face to get him to come back. And then she gave him hot cups of tea out of the flasks that we had, just to calm him down. She did ask him if he wanted to come back. He was hesitant, but he did. He was very sort of cagey and wouldn't leave my side after that. But I will say that we had been back as a group. The whole group had been back a few times to Castleacre, of which we invited him, but he's always declined.
Wow.
And this is someone who doesn't believe in ghosts or spirits or anything. And when he saw that was his very first encounter, if that's what you want to call it. He said it was enough for him and he didn't need to see any more. And he's not been ghost hunting since, really.
Wow.
So that is the story of Castleacre. I believe he saw a soldier.
It'd be interesting if you could get hold of him and speak to him today and see if he's more clarified on it. Do you know what I mean? Now, how it's settled into him now. Is he accepting it, or is
Well, he
still
lives in a
fighting the
haunted
fight?
house now. He's moved into a house that's haunted, and he has little things that happen, but nothing as profound as
Nothing
that.
like that. No, nothing
No.
like seeing a full body apparition come down and look at you.
No.
That'd be
And then
interesting.
at Castle Acre, Dan and I had an experience, Dan. You want to tell them about that? What we saw together?
Well, the cat.
I love
Yeah,
that.
I was sitting where he sat that night, I think, and
What, the
me
well?
and Viv were in, and looked up, and I saw this thing at the top, and I went, hang on, and you looked up, and it was like this cat came down. But it was a sort of a, I guess it would be like it was like it looked like a caracal, but it was a chunky animal, and it came down the steps and saw us, then darted off over into the thing, didn't it? So I mean, that was a unique thing, but
It was like, quick, Viv, run, go and get it. I'm going, what do you mean, go and run? What if it scratches me or attacks me? Yeah, don't worry about that. He said,
a lot of things are in that castle that are untoward, aren't there? There's lots of bits and bobs that castle gives up. That, I mean, I've heard people come up with try and justify or verify things about that castle, like the stuff that we got and that. And you think, no, I know what you're saying, but no, unless you're there and unless you experience it, you're not really in a position to poo-poo it. You got an opinion, that's fine, but if you're the one who's experienced it, you're the only one that knows what truly happened.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just what I always say. I never ever poo-poo people's experiences, even though I might think, oh, it could have been this, it could have been that.
"Oh, Wayne."
But at the end of the day, it's not my experience, so I can't see you later, Wayne. It's not my experience, so I can't be doing that.
Nettie, when you get your ass up here, you and Bright, we'll take you down to Castle Acre.
But the castle I don't like, believe it or not,
Oh, where we go.
the castle I don't like is Uncle Norm's.
Really?
Castle Rising. Why?
Don't know.
I know why.
Something not right about that castle. It feels to me, I might be completely wrong. It may be just a personal perception. It may be just that, I don't know. But to me, it doesn't. Something feels off kilter about it, and I don't know what it is. It's something
I can
quite
tell
dark.
you. Yes.
Oh, I know that he had the thing there. I know he had the elemental there, didn't he?
And the major ley lines that run through it.
Oh, yes, there are ley lines, aren't there, that run through it? But it just, to me, it made me feel quite.
Yeah.
I mean, we went and did experiments with Uncle Norm, God rest his soul, lovely man that he is. And we did experiments down in the actual cellar where he was physically attacked by said energy, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
And Uncle Norm was as honest as the day's long. He really is. You could take what he tells you to the bank. You really could and rely upon it. And a very highly intelligent, educated man, and one of the nicest men you could ever wish to meet. And a real archetypal English eccentric, wasn't he? In a lovely way. Lovely way. And it was with him. And even when he was there, I think he had a special... Something about him, I think, that meant that the next world wasn't that far. And whatever was on the other side of the veil was just walking sort of next to him, if you like. You know what I mean? He was never that far away, because whenever he was around, you can more or less, you're going to get something. You know something's going to happen that's unusual. And that, I was down in the cellar with him, and I saw those little lights, those tiny little lights that were, there you go. Beautiful place, absolutely gorgeous place. Little speckles of light, like little electricity, but loads of like little fairy lights. And I didn't say anything, and it was another investigator next to me who'd seen the same thing, and it was that we verified it with each other. But yeah, it was quite, and that was not far from where Uncle Norman was standing. So again, I think whatever's there or whatever's, I think he was more of a spiritual person than even he maybe gave himself credit for.
What's the name of the
Castle Rising? Castle Rising Castle.
Okay.
But I never felt at ease there.
I've had many experiences in Castle Rising.
Well, I did write that down.
It's been a bit of a whirlwind, to be totally honest with you, and I'm quite thankful to the late Norman Fahey, aka Uncle Norm, for those experiences. Because without him, I don't think I would have had those experiences that I did.
No.
I got to investigate the whole castle by myself, and he waited in what we call the base room, which I wouldn't do again on my own, to be honest. I did it, but it's because I know what comes, because of what comes, and the White Room's okay so long as you don't see her. But when you do see her, I mean, I don't think it is even Queen Isabella herself. I think it's more the dogs that she brings with her, because he kept saying, listen for the skirts, listen for the skirts. You can smell the perfume. Yes. But it's what precedes her. It's the animals that come. They just get, because they're not small.
Yeah.
We heard the skirts, didn't we, that night when we were there? When we were up, and you could hear them like coming down the hall just outside.
Yeah,
and attacking either side.
The photograph Andy Radley took, I mean, it was like a real big fluke, because I was sitting in the corner by the door and going, shh, shh, I can hear her. And Andy's going, wait there. And he's got his camera out and snapping. And he actually took the photograph of her with the dogs, and an absolutely amazing picture. But it's not just what's inside the castle, it's what's outside as well. People miss. Even so much so in the car park. People miss what cracks off out there.
No. People seem to forget that the grounds of a castle, they extend way beyond the boundaries of the castle, don't they?
Yeah.
Because towns grow up inside those castles. And so therefore you have people on the outside as well that are selling their goods and wares, So that history is the whole area.
It's also quite interesting to note, because Norman and I had a very in-depth conversation. Yes, definitely, Beverly. This very interesting conversation about the amount of suicides at Rising itself. And this particular year, there was a high number of suicides, and we couldn't fathom it. And apparently, he'd found it before about this high number of suicides, and these were like recent, And it was just like we wondered if there was a connection, or it's all connected. And but it is an amazing place to go and visit and take the children. Definitely go and take the kids; they'd love it there.
Is the suicides people that have been staying there, or visited and then went home?
No, it's just in Rising, the place Rising itself, not the castle, but in Rising itself. But there's also a connection to the pub down the bottom of the hill to the castle that people don't know about as well. So sometimes Norman would take people to the pub for a quick pint before we go and investigate. But
It guts courage.
Well, just go there for a pint anyway. Liked a pint.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah, it's a weird. I mean, I wasn't particularly enamoured with it. But of course, the thing is that for Uncle Norm, he was accepted completely by whatever energies were there, wasn't he? I think he was actually loved by them, because they used to look after him, didn't they? Really,
they gave him presents.
They gave him presents, yeah.
A bunch of white roses was one. He was the last one out, locked up. There's no way anyone could get in. And came in the next day, unlocked, first thing. And he had a bunch of roses. Another thing he got left was iron nails.
That's right.
He was given iron nails, all placed in the same.
Yeah,
all in the same place. So he said, "Oh, I love that," and he took that as a present. But like, what an iron nail! And he tried. He looked to see if he could find if this come out of somewhere. Nothing. So he took the iron nail as a present and thanked them like you do. But there's also been times when the main doors that are locked when you come in the morning, wide open. That was another little trick but Yeah, I love
It's a
Castle
nice
Rosamond.
castle. It's a nice castle. There's no getting away from that. It's lovely. It's just that for me, it was a bit. I mean, I'd go back there. Of course, I wouldn't investigate again. I mean, I've got no problem with that. But for me, it was just something that was off kilter about it, and it might have been that. It could have been a number of things. But then sometimes, personally, it could be just about the way something's designed, or the colours, or the shape, or whatever. It can just put an individual off, can't it? So it could have been completely that, you know. But yeah, very interesting.
Do you know one that I'm not too keen on, and people are going to go, ooh, is Hever Castle or Haver Castle?
Oh, Haver, yeah.
And the reason I'm not too keen on it, because it was the home of Queen Anne Boleyn when she was growing up, and it was owned by the Boleyn family. But the reason I'm not too keen on it, I mean, it's a pretty little place to go and look round. But the reason is because it's become too marketable. It's too much of a tourist attraction now, where they're pushing the Anne Boleyn and Henry VIII on that, and really he doesn't belong there. He belongs at Hampton Court Palace, and yeah. But the grounds are pretty. The grounds are lovely. You can walk around that and see the history. But it's like it's in your face. Anne Boleyn in your face. It's like actually no, we don't want her in our face.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? I think the thing is, the problem with a lot of it is they push one string of history, and you think there's 1,000 years of history here. There's more to it than that, and some of the history is probably as interesting, if not more so.
Been buried,
you know. And then 9 times out of 10, you say, "So where did she stay?" I say, "Well, we're not too sure if she did stay here. So if she did, it could have been that room. So she didn't then."
Yeah. Do you have any second favourites, Eric, or ones you don't particularly like?
Well, the one I liked that it's in Ireland is Lep Castle.
Oh, Lep, yeah.
I want to go see that because I want to go down to the oubliettes.
Do you like oubliettes?
Yes, I do. I love them.
Well, we should take him to.
I want to climb down, investigate tunnels, whatever I can get into.
So we've got some oubliettes up here, well, Nottingham way, that we can show you.
There's a few, isn't there, around here?
Very interesting oubliettes.
Cool.
I think it means to forget, doesn't it?
Does. Let me
French again, hence the Norman thing.
I can smell Andy's dinner. It's making me hungry.
What's he having?
It smells like curry.
Nice. There you go, Lep.
Yep, it's one of my favorites.
Where is it?
Ireland.
Where?
Ireland.
Oh, Ireland.
To be sure.
Boo, boo, boo to you, will you move?
Boo, boo.
Boo.
That's quite nice.
It's lovely. I don't think there's a lot of that left either. Is it? It's just mainly the isn't they like the what do you call it house? The actual
gatehouse.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's the bits left there, but a lot of it's fallen apart, isn't it?
You can climb inside of it. I know that much. And there's like stairs that you can go up to the top part.
Yes, yeah. They've still got a bit of a minstrel gallery there, I think, haven't they?
So I'm going to put up a castle here, Parker, to see what you think of it.
Newcastle.
It's a very famous castle, and it is in England.
Okay.
Dan will know what this is.
I'll let's read first. I bet I don't.
Right.
Is it up yet?
Hang on.
Is it Roy Castle?
It's not Roy Castle, no.
Oh, it was a record breaker, wasn't he?
You're going to see what it is as soon as I show you this picture. Dan, don't look at the writing, okay? Pretend you can't read.
I can't. Big letters, I need one letter a page. It is, yeah, he does. He still lives in it, yeah.
I'm going to take a guess, and is that Dover Castle?
It is Dover Castle. Now, Dover Castle is they do ghost hunts there.
That's proper. That's got a lot of activity going on in there.
Yeah, I don't think I've got any other pictures. Dover Castle. Oh, God.
Yeah, that's got to have some proper
I'm trying to think.
history there.
Who was the ghost hunter that was there back in the 870s?
Is that the one that saw them in the hospital part? That saw the person they were there visiting.
Maybe.
Oh, I've seen a few people in the hospital. They've seen an officer, a naval officer, walking along as well.
Yeah,
And people would thought that he was part of the reenactment, or he
yeah,
was a paid actor.
and
And then
even
they see him just walk straight through and then go.
Oh,
And,
really?
like, nobody else sees him.
yeah. He even turns to look at them because they call at him and they ask him a question, and he turns, but he keeps walking, so he's noticing them.
But ignoring them.
He's
I suppose
ignoring them.
it's odd, isn't it? But there's a few there. The one I saw there in the 70s, there was a parapsychologist or ghost hunter, actually. Very well known. I can't think who he was. Very quietly spoken man. Who was it now? Bloody can't remember his name.
I know what you're talking
It'll
about.
come to me. And he did one. They videoed it. And they got, at one part, they had activity by these doors. These doors are humongous. And you're looking at like 20 foot high. And they're like easily 18 feet wide. Great big oaken doors. And they said, there's like this activity that happens here. Now, the other side of them, there's nothing. You can't get to the other side of them. But these things are, they're sort of hanging mid up. And he sets the camera up and he's sitting there and he didn't panic. He didn't do anything. In fact, he walked up to the door when it was happening and he put a piece of kit up. I don't know what it was, whether it was it could have been I can't remember the name of it now, piece of kit, but monitors vibrations. And all of a sudden, early hours in the morning, these doors started, boom, boom, and there was somebody banging the shit out of them, and you could hear it thump, thump. Obviously, not hands. It had to be something like a great big log coming at them, you know. And you could see the doors. They were banging forward, banging forward, banging forward. And they didn't open, and he just walked up to them and stuck this thing against her, and he was monitoring the vibration of them. And then he was registering it, and he did not panic at all. And it was phenomenal. Everybody else was running around like headless chickens, and he just stood there and did what he needed to do, and that was what impressed me.
Okay, I'm going to show you a castle now.
Like a battering ram.
I could have access to this, but we have to keep it very much on the QT.
Was that a Playmobil castle?
No. You'll like it.
Not a lot. Where's that one, Viv?
That's Tymore Castle in the Trossachs in Scotland. So I'm going to just leave it up for a sec and then get rid of it very quickly. Just there we go. I'm going to have to stop sharing my screen now.
Okay.
So that's one. Maybe we could go and visit, Dan.
That'd be a good idea.
What do you reckon?
That'd be
Mark?
nice.
Go for the fishing.
Yeah. Okay,
This
some
is where
trout.
you go hunting.
Oh dear! But we are going out ghost hunting this weekend. Well, a bit of both, bit of cryptid, a bit of ghost,
Bit of this, bit of that, bit of woo, bit of woo,
bit of woo.
bit of woo, bit of that, bit of this, bit of that.
Parker can't come this weekend.
No,
Oh, can you? Why not?
just too much on, mate. Yeah.
Hey,
Working. I'm working late and then coming home and sorting stuff out. So yeah, I
fair
can't.
enough, fair enough.
Put it in.
He's saving himself for the big event.
Yeah.
The big
That's the week
event.
after, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the week
2
after.
weeks. Yeah, 2
2
weeks.
weeks.
Yeah, very nice big event that we're going to.
Get an investigation in that night as well, hopefully.
We
Yeah.
are, and we might be able to book another one afterwards, Dan, at
That'd be
a
good.
certain person's house.
Wow.
That'd be good. What, up there?
No,
Yeah.
not that weekend, but another weekend
Up there or down there?
down there.
Down there.
Yeah,
That'd be interesting.
yeah. Yeah. So castles, I like castles. They're full of magic and mystery, and not all
Yeah,
of
full
them.
of history, aren't they? Which is
Not
can
all of
only
them
one
are
understand
nasty.
vibrations without using anything technical.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. We know that some places also have the time slip. There's one in Scotland which is famous for the time slip. And you actually see the people around you and you're actually in there with them. And then the next thing you know, you're back to reality and you've been gone for God knows how many hours, but you've actually, in real time,
There's a
you've been
place in
gone
Liverpool,
minutes.
isn't there? There's a place in Liverpool which is somewhere in the city centre. You might know about this, Jay. Somewhere in the city centre, which is very renowned for that, and it's happened. It's quite a regular occurrence. And there was one instance there where a guy was shoplifting, a young fellow shoplifting back in the day, and this copper chased him, and this young kid ran down this alley, which was in the copper. Well, I got you now. There's nowhere out of that. It's a dead end. You go nowhere. And he got into the alley, and the kid was nowhere to be seen.
Wow.
And it's like, well, bloody hell, where's he gone?
Where's he
Then the
gone?
copper came out the alley, and he's standing like he's shocked. And the next thing you know, the kid comes out and hands himself to the copper, terrified. And when the copper questions him, he said, I don't know what happened to him, but I weren't here anymore. I was back in a different time. And the copper was like, well, okay, but he was just happy with the collar. But at the end of the day, that's actually a given thing. It's an accepted piece of phenomena, I think, for that part of Liverpool, which is interesting. And it's right smack bang in the shopping centre. So, you know, so how many people have experienced that and not mentioned it?
Yeah. It's right near the Dockland, like Albert Dock end, that end.
It could be, mate. Yeah, it could very well be.
Time
so Nettie
slips.
says that's why I like to do. Oh, do you know, I wouldn't want to do a time slip on a battlefield, Nettie.
No, Nettie, you wouldn't want to be
No, I
there.
wouldn't.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
No.
Gosh, she's got balls of steel, as that woman.
I'll be honest with you, it'd be the fucking quickest surrender they'd have ever seen in their life. My hands would go up, and I'd say, "You wouldn't shoot a fat man that's just shit himself, would you?"
Seriously? No.
Oh dear.
No. I've been involved in a time slip. This time slip was quite boring.
Eric's eager.
Yeah.
He's got his pot out.
Oh, he's got his pot out. Go on, why don't you get your pot out?
All right. Who's doing it this time?
I'll do it.
All right. So I want to stop.
Put your fingers right in there.
Yeah,
Right at the bottom. Stop.
Gary
Oh,
Sparrow.
that one.
I love that name. Gary Sparrow. Remember that Good Night, Sweetheart?
Ooh, haunted dolls.
To love that.
Haunted
They don't make
dolls.
TV like that anymore. It's just
Oh, okay. Dan, haunted dolls.
Oh,
Haunted dolls.
Haunted dolls.
oh,
I love haunted dolls.
That's what I was like.
it's all bollocks, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen somebody that's a very famous podcaster have a lot of haunted dolls, and they do stuff in his house.
Do you know what they call them? They call them fucking liars, Eric.
Well,
Well, I know that you know this person too, so I wouldn't say that.
Who is it?
It's Grizzly.
we
Who is it,
used,
Grizzly?
Yeah.
Fucking Grizzly, you're a liar.
we used to,
I
Dan,
like Grizz.
we used to watch someone that had a haunted doll and she'd put a camera on it, disappear and go and make spaghetti bolognese and come back and say, "Did you see anything?"
Fucking brilliant.
It's just so funny.
Brilliant.
We'll have to talk about that. It's brilliant.
He's my favourite.
I want to tell you about this time slip experience I had because I'll tell you where I was. I went to Langard Fort and we got there. We was in there about an hour before anybody else turned up. And so the guy said to us, "Oh, you might as well go and have a little walk around and familiarise yourself." He goes, "You got an hour," while the others were setting up. So, yeah, okay. 6 of us went on this walk. And we thought we'd only been gone 10 minutes. We were gone 2.5
4 years.
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
2.5 hours, which only seemed like 10 minutes to us. We even had our watches. 10 minutes.
Wow.
2.5 hours. Where have you been? Oh, we've only just been up there and walked round there. Was it taking you 2.5 hours to do that? We have no clue. We got lost time, and we can't. None of us. We were all together. None of us split up.
Mm.
We
I think
can't
it's
work it
feasible. I
out.
think that's feasible time slips, because I think
I
the
wonder
thing
if
is
somebody could
you're looking at not so much. I mean, you could call it paranormal, but you're not looking at you're looking at quantum physics there as well, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Quantum
So that's
physics.
quite. I mean, you think if you take into consideration that time and reality don't exist
They don't.
because everything's outside of time and reality that matters. Everything's outside of it. So therefore, why can't everything therefore must exist at the same time? So
Yep.
you're going to have bleed throughs.
Mm.
So that's exactly what's going to happen, I think. But it's interesting.
That's why they call it quantum realms.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is interesting.
Mm.
There you go.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I'd like to find a way to document that, like take a picture of the time outside, take a picture of your watch or whatever, and then be able to go through that process and then redo it by taking the time of your watch and the time outside of that.
The thing is, though, at the time of you going through that time slip, you're not aware that you're in one.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the thing. You're not aware that you're in one. Well, we had no clue that we were just looking at the guns and, what's in this door? That's boring. What's in this door? That's boring. We were not aware that we were in one.
Yeah.
And we didn't even hear the people come in. If the crowds come in and went into the base room where we were, we would have heard them.
Yeah.
Because people are noisy buggers, aren't they?
Mm.
We heard nothing. It was like, I've had enough of this now. Should we go and get a coffee before the others arrive? Yeah, come on, let's go. And then there was a whole room full of people like, what?
Well, there must be instances, mustn't there, where people go in time slips all the time. But it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to jump forward or backwards 100 years.
No.
You could be jumping forward a couple of hours and not realise. Do you know what I mean? Like you guys, where everything seemed to be normal, but you're outside of time, as it were.
No, Tim, it's not the same thing.
Oh,
No.
Williams just put up something really interesting there.
Look at my profile picture to understand how humans can transform themselves through alchemy.
Transform
Oh,
themselves.
I'll have a look at that. Oh, thanks, William. Have a look at that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I'll definitely have a look at that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That is interesting.
It's a hard concept, isn't it, to get your head around that. See, it is, but then once you get your head around it, it's kind of like, oh yeah, that's right. Nothing exists as we think it exists.
But then do you think that the time slips are created because of prominent places like Langard Fort, castles, battles, lots of activity, good, bad, whatever?
I just think they happen. I just think they happen. I
Well,
just think people find themselves in a particular place at a particular given time. Might not, as I say, might not be 100 years ago, or 200, 300, 400 years. Not in the future. It could be.
Do you reckon it's the Earth creating them, like the ley lines, like it will create a time slip, like naturally?
I think, and I might be completely wrong. To me, I think it's like a video recorder, but it's one video that's on the time loop that keeps going over itself and over itself and over itself and over itself. So in the end, what you're doing is you're experiencing everything on this loop, but you're experiencing it from a person. You're experiencing it from like an individual's perspective. So so you've got these relationships with the people around you, but by the same token, other bits bleed through. So it's like we're on a disc, if you like, that's continually going around, or a tape.
It's a bit like Jay on the Magic Roundabout.
Jay on the Magic Roundabout is exactly like Jay on the Magic Roundabout. Boing, and that fucking idiot arrives.
What, Jay? You calling him an idiot?
No, he's not that clever.
He's more like Dylan.
Yeah. Peace, man.
Peace, man. Peace, man.
Who's hit the balloons on me? Who's hit the balloons on me? Was that you, Eric?
That's Eric.
I don't know how to do it.
That's
It's
the time
Eric.
slip. I'm back at my birthday party when I was 8.
Put a monster up behind him.
Right, we're coming to the end of the show, guys. But what I will
End
tell
of the
you,
show. End of the show. This is where we go for the end of the show.
I will tell you tomorrow night, Eric and Dogman and Spooky Viv will be speaking to Jonathan Downs, renowned cryptozoologist and, well, ghost hunter, cryptid hunter, all-round nice guy.
Lovely man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But because we have more questions that we need to ask him.
Oh,
we couldn't
boy,
get
have
them
we.
all in last
Boy,
time.
have we. Boy, have we.
Dad's got a list this long.
I've needed to go and buy another 2 books. I've run out of places to write the questions down.
Parker's met him. Parker knows Jonathan.
He does. Parker's met him personally.
We know him personally.
Knows him personally.
But no doubt he'll be picking on me again tomorrow because he likes to pick on me because he's a dear.
Why not?
He's a dear friend.
It's a hobby we should all get into.
What, picking on me?
Yeah.
And
You wait, Parker. Don't forget you're sleeping round here.
That's all right.
Put him in the haunted room and he'll cry like a little girl.
No.
Thursday.
Sorry, Eric?
And Thursday, Dan.
Yes.
Thursday we have got the weird room back again. I'm not going to say what it is, but I'm going to put it out on social media on tomorrow night, I guess Wednesday night.
Machos
tomorrow
Weirdnos.
Who? Nachos Weirdos. Yes.
Machos
Weirdos.
Weirdos. So if you
Yeah,
like to
that's the thing. I know it's going to be topical, right? That young lad, Jay Slater. What do you think? What do you think the situation is with him?
he's dead.
Is that
He
the
must be,
lads
mustn't he?
in Tenerife?
Yeah. It's very odd, isn't it?
I think he's. So my opinion, I think that he went to the festival, didn't he?
Yes, he did. There was a festival there. Yeah. Right.
And then I think that he got in the wrong hands, probably sold too many drugs to wrong people, and the mafia got hold of him, and that was it.
Massive
That's
industry.
what I believe. But
Massive industry.
If you go into the history or you'll Google him, he was involved in a machete attack.
He
where a
was
young boy
on another
died.
lad.
So he's not squeaky clean, and
No,
this is retribution. You play with the big boys,
Oh,
the
yeah.
big boys play back.
yeah,
And this is what's happened. The mother is also not squeaky clean.
No, they've got the whole family out there on a jolly up by the look of it.
Yeah.
From
So,
what I've been reading, whether it's right or not, I don't know.
but I have the feeling that he is dead. He's in a shallow grave, which is why you're not going to find him.
no.
And the boys that he jumped in the car with, the next day they were back in England.
Yeah.
Even though that big search and rescue was going on, they didn't seem too bothered. So, yeah,
They say that girl's quite suspicious as well, don't they? The girl that he was out there with.
yeah, he was all set up.
Mhm.
But I don't live
Is
in
what it
that
is.
world, in that underworld.
It's a
No.
true saying, isn't it? If you live by the sword, you die by it, unfortunately and sadly. And,
Yeah,
You know, just not worth it, is it?
no.
Just not worth it. No matter how much money you earn, just not worth going near that crap.
No,
And apart from that, it's ruining innocent lives. Not just their lives, but
Exactly.
innocent people's lives.
exactly. And can I just wish everybody in the UK tomorrow that are going in to vote? It's a polling day tomorrow. Good luck with all of that.
Thursday, is it Thursday, isn't it?
Is it Thursday?
Yeah,
Is it
Thursday
Thursday?
the 4th. 4th of July.
Oh, so you got a day's reprieve. But yeah, good luck with it all, though. I dread going in to vote because it's a nightmare getting in through those doors and going in that little cubicle to put your tick against it. Ugh. But anyway, each to their own. Have fun.
And you better all vote bin face.
Pin face.
Yeah, if you don't vote bin face, there's going to be shit's going to hit the fan. Serious shit.
Bin.
We want bin face to run this country.
Bring back Screaming Lord Such.
Exactly. God rest his soul.
Right, on that note, we are going to say ta-ta.
Ta 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 ta.
Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Bye, good night.